Tim, guess what? It's just gone 9 o'clock, and that could only mean one thing because it's Sunday, and that is, well, it's news roundup of the week, where I look at the news from the week and round it up. Oh, I don't know where I got the name from, but anyway, that's what it's about. It's a light-hearted look at the week, although some of the subjects are very serious, and I do get a bit angry and a bit sweary at times. Well, they don't swear, obviously, because swearing's for children and immature people, things like that. And I don't mean swear. Hi JT, King Rachel, hope you're looking good. Me, first on. Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, we're going to be looking at various things in the news this week. The main ones being King Charles and weirdly, Rishi and Keir Starmer had a bit of a row. So we're going to have a look at that as well. We're also going to have a look at what's going on in Lebanon, the EU, U-turns. There's U-turns everywhere as well. And what else have we got going on? Trump's around as well. Plus we've got Australian news, American news, and various other bits as well. Stephen LFC, hope you're good. Luke, hope you're good as well. Don't forget this is a live stream every Sunday around about 9 o'clock. Lainey, hello and welcome as well. We've already got 4 people who've chatted in the chat room, and I've only been on for 1 minute and 40 seconds. So if you want to join in the chat live, then feel free to pop along to the channel at 9 o'clock GMT or BST, depending when you're watching this, on a Sunday, and join in the conversation and give me your opinion on what's going on around that world, like in it. So yeah, we're going to look at the main news of the week. 2 main subjects of the week's news. The first one involved a member of the royal family. Not any member of the royal family, the actual main member of the royal family. Yeah, we're good. I hope you're all IK and good too. Yeah, we're ick and good. Hope you're ick and good too. I don't know what it means. I'm not trendy. Talking of not being trendy, King Charles. It was announced on Monday he was diagnosed with cancer. He was not. Well, we weren't told what kind of cancer it was, although Rishi let slip later in the week that it was caught early, which is always a good thing with cancer. If it's caught early, you've got more of a chance. Rumours were Prince Harry was going to rush over from America to see his dad, which I thought was a bit cruel. Bearing in mind the king had cancer, why would Prince Harry go and see his dad? And it turns out apparently Prince Harry thinks that the king's his dad, so he went to see him. So Harry visited his dad on Tuesday, and the king has moved on to Balmoral, trying to get away from Harry probably. He's not even my son. I don't know why he keeps coming. Prince William said that he was not proud. Did I say proud then? That's the wrong word. But Prince William said that thanked people in a speech for all their public support and over the King Charles and obviously his wife Kate, who's just come out of hospital over the last few weeks. And he said that my life at the moment is medically laden, so I thought I'd come to an air ambulance charity fundraising to get away from it all, which proves he's got a sense of humour. He's going to make a great king. Probably. By the time we got to Friday, we found out that oh, hang on a minute, I might be online. Let me see. Always tells me my phone that I'm online, and I'm online. News lineup now on live on YouTube, 11th of February 2024. New roundup of the week. Well, there you go then. Oh no! Oh no! Everyone knew. You're okay, Angela. Family comes first. Don't worry about it. as long as everything sorts itself out. Oh, someone's got caps lock on. Whoops. Anyway, the sorry, got completely. Yeah, this was hilarious because Prince Harry made a settlement in a libel case, but his lawyers had a go at Piers Morgan. Now, Piers Morgan, as we all know, is the kind of person who, you know, doesn't answer back or anything like. Oh, am I kidding?
Invading the privacy of the royal family is utterly reprehensible, and on that I share Prince Harry's opinion. I just wish he'd stop doing it. Invading the privacy
Just in case you got that.
of the royal family is utterly reprehensible, and
I mean,
on that I share Prince Harry's opinion. I just wish he'd stop doing it.
Yeah, so there you go. It was it was Piers Morgan actually being quite clever and quite funny and having a dig back at Prince Harry, which seems reasonable under the circumstances. I mean, they're as bad as each other, aren't they? You take care, Angela. See you soon. Today, the King appeared at the church along with his wife, the Queen. So I can't get used to that. It was the first public appearance since the cancer diagnosis was given out. That wasn't the only news of the week, though. When it comes to question time, there was a bit of a lack of judgment, shall we say. Rishi Sunak decided to have a dig at Keir Starmer. And I don't have any problems with that whatsoever. I mean, it had already been announced that, well, rumoured that Keir Starmer was going to do a U-turn on his £28 billion pound a year green energy plan because they haven't got the money for it, which we kind of knew before they even said it. But anyway, so that was rumours around. And Rishi basically used that in a defence to say that Keir was very good at making U-turns and not actually knowing what various things are. The problem was he made an ill-timed joke on transgender when Brianna's mother, Brianna being the 15-year-old transgender who was murdered exactly a year ago today by two other 15-year-olds who've been since sentenced to life imprisonment, was in the Commons. However, Keir Starmer leapt on it so quickly, it felt like the whole thing was being hijacked by the politicians to score points on each other. Keir Starmer said, shame on you, of all the weeks to say something like that, you choose it when... And basically they both weaponised Brianna's murder, which I think is pretty reprehensible and not cool at all. But it got worse for Keir Starmer. On the Thursday, he actually announced that they were scrapping the £28 billion a year green initiative and the green energy company that they were going to set up to save people money. The reason for that being that there isn't any money, which we knew anyway, and we've known for ages, and it's like one of the most useless policies ever. And like I've said many times on this broadcast, it's one of them things where your granny or your auntie says you're going to give you a tenner when you're a kid for Christmas or your birthday or whatever, and you think, oh, I've got a tenner, I can buy a new jumper, or I can buy a game, I can buy some trainers, I can buy something or other, and you spend that £10 about 50 times overs, and that's basically what Keir Starmer's been doing and the Labour have been doing with the tax on the energy companies. They basically have spent it about 50 times over. The whole thing is nonsense, and again I would say, if there was an election today, I know the Tories are absolutely shite. Yes, they are absolutely shite. They are useless. They are crap. But they are not Keir Starmer, so they would get my vote. We've got to the stage now in politics where you're not looking for the best person to rule the country and the best person to make the best decisions for the country. You're actually looking for the person who can make the least mess. And even though the Tories have completely put up everywhere, I still vote for them over that man, Keir Starmer. I am sorry. Oh, John. Hi, John. Welcome. It's John Gibb, everybody. He's joined us in Fit Chat. And we've got Martin Baker on as well. Lots of people joining in the chat today, which is good. Don't forget, you will get a shout out at the end. And feel free, if you think that Keir Starmer is the next best Prime Minister, the greatest Prime Minister we're ever going to have, feel free to tell me. I'm not actually holding my breath. No, thought not. Which brings us to the week's news as reported in the United Kingdom. Phoenix Hero, good evening to you too, sir. Oh, that was very presumptuous of me. I do apologise. Good evening to you, human person. Again, presumptuous, I know. It's a statement a lot of people's... it's a statement for a lot of people's votes, I think. What? Voting for someone who's going to do the least damage. And I still don't know what... The problem I have with Keir Starmer is, well, everything. I don't know what he stands for. I don't know what we're going to get. I know we're going to get someone who changes his mind, and more often than the weather changes. And let's be honest, over the last few weeks, the weather's been all over the place. But no, it's just madness what's going on. But anyway, it is what it is. I mean, just be grateful we're not in America. But more of that later. Yeah, stalemate. Rock and a hard place. I mean, what we need is we need someone with some common sense to come in and just take over the world and say, right, you lot stop doing that, you lot stop doing that, right, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this, we're going to get this sorted, we'll get that done, we'll be fair with everyone, off we go. But sadly, there's no one around to do it. I mean, even Reform, I don't know what they stand for either. Anyway, we're on the world's news as reported in the UK. Monday, the 5th of February, and the corrosive attacker, an arrest was made of a 22-year-old on assisting an offender. Southwark Bridge was the last sighting on the night of the attack, and the lady attacked is at risk of losing sight in her right eye. I mean, you know, I've got no experience of acid attacks or anything like that, thank God. However, it's got to be said that anyone who does that kind of thing deserves to have evil to be bestowed on them, just, you know, put on them at every angle. And I said last week, and I'm not backing down from it, I genuinely hope he's died a horrible death in a ditch somewhere, because that's what he deserves. Doesn't deserve justice, he doesn't deserve anything else, he deserves to be dead. Anyway, that brings us more to Rishi. It was a bit mushy. He went with the Irish PM to visit Stormont for the start of the devolved government's operations. It's all gone very quiet, to be fair, so either they're all getting on or it's already kicked off and they've already scrapped it. But either way, Rishi and the Irish PM, the Taoiseach, went up to pretend that they were friends, even though they disagree on everything, because everything is, well, nonsense. We lost as well one of our favourite characters from British comedy, and that is the actor Ian Lavender, who played Pike in the Dad's Army TV series. He also played a few other parts as well, most noticeably in the last 15-20 years he was in EastEnders, I think, for a while, as one of the characters, and I believe he died on that by falling out of a window of the Beales house, landing on the extension window and then rolling down and landing on the pavement, and he was deaded. Anyway, sadly, Ian Lavender has passed away at the age of 77. Private Pike he played. He was the young lad who always had the scarf on, always referred to one of the members as Uncle So-and-so, but reading between the lines, he didn't realise it, but that was his dad, because his mum and the officer were very friendly indeed. He was by far the youngest person in the crew, and he's the last one to pass away, but the guy who played the marshal with the tin hat on, he only passed away a couple of years ago, and he was getting on a bit as well. But Ian Lavender, 77, stupid boy, and Remember the famous, one of the best clips of TV ever, where they've captured the Germans, or they've got some Germans, and one of the Germans is sat on what looks like an umpire's chair in the middle of the church hall, and he's making notes of all the stuff that's gone wrong, and he's going to put a letter into whomever and complain about the human rights and all that kind of stuff. And Pike, who's also sat on a chair thing with a gun, sings "Whistle While You Work, Hitler is a Burke," and he says, "Yo, what is your name?" And he goes, and obviously the famous line comes along, "Don't tell him, Pike." Pike! Oh, Mr. Mannery. Yeah, brilliant comedy. I asked my dad who Ian Levida played, but he wouldn't tell me his name. Right, I don't understand that then. Don't tell him, Pike. Yeah, there you go. He took it, Piking. They don't like it up 'em. They don't like it up 'em. Anyway, Tuesday the 6th of February, court rejects Trump's claims that he's immune for being charged for the attempts to overthrow the election results, as at the time he was still president, and therefore he was immune. He can do what he wants because he's president. But they throw that out because basically the guy's a crook. The irony is that if he does win the presidency, and let's be honest, it's a strong possibility he will, he can pardon himself and get let off. And as I pointed out a week or two ago, someone else pointed out as well, he could literally go around with a machine gun and mow people down and then just pardon himself, and no one could ever do him for it. The government is offering dentists cash bonuses to treat NHS patients. Now, I mean, this will shock you, but I've not been to a dentist or a treatment on my teeth for many, many decades. I know, you're shocked. You look at my teeth and you think, there's a guy who goes to the dentist on a regular basis. I bet he's got turkey teeth. It makes Alan Carr look like he's got dentures. Oh, yeah. Anyway, the main problem you have is that in the UK, there are not enough dentists to go around, because the dentists have got a more incentive to get people to go in private, which means they earn a lot more money than what they do on the NHS. The problem is the NHS hasn't got any money. So what do? Well, what I'd do is shut down the dentists who go private. I mean, any money's better than lots of money. You never see a poor dentist, do you? Tragic news as well. You need to doff your cap for this. Kwasi Kwarteng, the MP, is to stand down at the next general election. He was the Chancellor that Liz Truss put in charge of the economy for those 3.5 weeks she was in charge, and he completely fucked everything up for everyone. And we're still paying for it now, and our grandkids will still be paying for it. I mean, my argument has always been, what can a government do very quickly that's going to change things? Well, Liz Truss proved that you can do things very quickly indeed. Unfortunately, she didn't change things for the better. I mean, fair play for giving it a go, but I mean, come on, love. Don't know what you're talking about. The EU, European Union, absolutely folded and did a complete U-turn as it abandoned the scrapping of pesticides after all the protests around Europe by farmers, all the tractors going slow on the motorways, the freeways, them dumping tyres at the European Parliament, etc., etc., etc. I don't fly. Well, I haven't got wings, but I mean, I don't get an aeroplane. Bye bye, Kwasi. Yeah, Laney. Bye bye, Kwasi. Let's say you were great, but you weren't even that. Did you hear about the shooting in Skem? I did hear about the shooting in Skem, Stephen. Doesn't make it to the news though, unfortunately, this week. Also on Tuesday, experts found that bolts were missing from the door plate of the Boeing 737 MAX, which basically, the bit flew off, and thankfully no one got sucked out of the plane, apart from a mobile phone and a child's t-shirt. Oh, and obviously the door, and maybe a bit of baggage as well. But anyway, yeah, there were bolts missing from something that's meant to hold the plane together. I mean, like I said, I don't fly a lot, but if I did, I'd be very wary about getting on a Boeing. I mean, people say a Boeing 737 MAX is something to be wary of. I'd be wary about getting on any plane that's got the word Boeing written on it. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Right. Brings us nicely to Thursday. You'll be surprised about this. Biden's memory was called into question. You know, the guy who can't figure out how to walk off a stage. The guy who can't figure out how to walk. The guy who can't figure out how to use steps. Mind you, Trump's not much better, is he? Like I said, you know, we moan about Starmer and Rishi Rich. But my God, at least we're not in America having to choose between these two plebs. Oh, sorry, that was a word I shouldn't have used. But anyway, you know what I mean. Ukraine top military commander was removed from duty. Zelensky said it was time for renewal. Now, I actually thought that considering, let's be honest, Ukraine, the people fighting for Ukraine in Ukraine against the Russians are not, I repeat, not soldiers. They are people who work in offices, they are school teachers, they are just people off the streets. They are not an army. I think they're doing remarkably well. So I think for Zelensky to get rid of the guy who's the top of the military is a bit rich, but hopefully it's not going to go back. And then this is weird as well. Park Run. Now I don't run. You'd be surprised to hear. If you see my body, I can't run. But Park Run have deleted on their websites all the records over a possible transgender discrepancy, although they've not actually said that, although people have complained that some of the women's records have been claimed by transgender women who obviously biologically men who have claimed these records. So now they took all the records off and said it's not about who's the fastest or anything like that, it's about taking part and having fun. So they got rid of all the kids' records, they got rid of all the men's records, they got rid of all the old people records, they got rid of the disabled people in wheelchairs and that kind of thing. You know, there's a lot that's going on that we need. So yeah. So what's next? I'll tell you what's next. That would be Friday. Now Friday always follows Thursday unless it doesn't. But it always does. So it does. Attack suspect assumed dead. So they reckon that the acid alkaline corrosive attack is going to be removed. No, not been removed. I've removed Martin Baker because he was just talking crap, let's be honest. He'll still get a shout out at the end though, because at least he joined in. Won't be able to join in again, but he's joined in. Attack suspect from the acid attack in London is presumed dead. They're saying that they think, because his last sighting was near one of the bridges going over the Thames, that he's took his own life by jumping into the Thames, which I think is awful. I'd sooner he suffered immense pain and agony for a very long period of time before dying, rather than choosing his own time and place. Anyway, they were going to start searching in the Thames at some point in the near future. A report in the US says Biden is old gentleman with poor memory. Again, the shock is where exactly? And again, Trump? You know, just saying. Netanyahu says he's asked the IDF to get Palestine civilians from Rafah. So basically what he's saying now is he's got everyone from northern Gaza to move down as he systematically destroys the country, or I don't know if it's a country or whether it's a, yeah, it's a country, isn't it? As he systematically destroys it and destroys 60% of the housing. So basically ethnic cleansing it. Everyone's down at Rafah now, which is right on the border of Egypt. Literally, there are people sleeping in plastic sheets, under plastic sheets, not in plastic sheets, next to the border fence because they can't go any further south. And Netanyahu now is saying that he wants the IDF, the Israelis Defence Force, defence, yeah, my arse. It should be the IDF or the Israeli war criminals, whichever you prefer, to move the Palestinian civilians. Yeah, where? Oh, Egypt. So basically, get them out of the country, and then we can claim it ourselves. If people haven't seen this coming, I don't know what's wrong with you. To be fair, the Western governments are waking up a little bit and questioning it a little bit more. But as I've said before, this is just ethnic cleansing, but by a different name. UK farmers go on a slow and in and around Dover following the EU success of their farmers. Basically, they're objecting as well to the new tariffs, to cheaper imports, and various other bits and pieces as well that are going on to make the world greener. For example, you have to have 20% of your land or thereabouts turned over to nature. You can't use it for farming. Well, we've got more people in the country than we've ever had before, and it's increasing exponentially every year. So we need more farming, not less farming. Oh, and we're building on Greenland as well because we're stupid. And then someone pointed out to me this week, is it not actually a case that they are trying to, they being the powers that be, the blob, whatever you want to call it, the people above the governments, are trying to starve the population of the planet so that the population shrinks so it's easier to control. But they're already, in my opinion, again this is a little bit conspiracy theorist, but they're already actively diluting the country's identities by having migrants going all over the world, mainly from Africa and places like that, which to be fair we have up a little bit, but they've been sent all around the world now. America, like we just said, obviously Europe and various other places as well. And is that to dilute and again to make it easier to control us all in the future generations? I don't know. I won't be around for future generations, but we live in hope that that's not true. Saturday. You may not have seen this, but I noticed this, mainly because there's one in the Grand Arcade. Body Shop could be in financial difficulties. There's a rumour that the people who took it over on January the 1st this year, the company that took it over, are considering, if they can't sell it quickly, to calling in receivers and administration and putting the whole thing up for sale, which may mean the loss of hundreds of shops, thousands of jobs, probably go online. But again, another thing we don't need. And why are companies allowed to buy companies and then, you know what, 1st of January they took ownership, probably for a nominal fee, maybe a couple of million or a few million or whatever, and now decide that, you know what, this isn't working, so we're going to sell it, or we're just going to shut it down. Companies should be vetted before they take over other companies. Surely it's better for the people who work for these companies to either go under straight away rather than getting all these false hopes of we've got new owners, they're going to pump all this money, it's going to be great, and then what, less than 2 months down the line they're already panicking again that they're going to lose their jobs. Absolutely ridiculous. The search started in the Thames for the chemical attacker. As we'll find out later on, they found 2 bodies. More of that later. Sunday, which is today, Hamas says it will pull out of talks if Israel ground attacks Rafah. They say it's the last stronghold, as in the Israelis say it's the last stronghold for Hamas, but it's also, as the UN point out, the last place that the Palestinians feel safe. But they're not safe because the Israeli attack force, the IAF, are actually hitting houses and killing civilians yet again in Rafah, the place they've told everyone to move to over the period of the last few months. Ethnic cleansing, genocide, you choose the words that you think is pertinent. But I definitely think that Israel has got a lot of questions to answer. There was a Rochdale Labour candidate who was ridiculed and practically near enough lost his chance of becoming an MP because he was recorded saying that he thinks that the Israelis knew that the attack was going to happen on October the 7th, allowed it to happen, i.e. removed all their troops away from the thing that was near the border in order to be able to retaliate in the strength they have done. Now, this is something I've been saying for a while, and other people have said it to me. Maybe I'm the only fool who says it, online, but you can go back through various of these shows and various other parts of this show when it used to be called What a Week That Was. Remember that? It's now News Roundup of the Week, which I still can't get in my head, but anyway, there you go. But no, it's just bonkers that Israel allowed this to happen and the way they're reacting as well. And they think they're still right. I don't blame the Jews. I don't blame even the population of Israel. I blame Netanyahu and his Israeli war criminal army for all this. They are just using a situation in order to get what they've wanted and to prove that they are great leaders and they've done that no one else could do because they've had the ability to do it. And America is complicit. I agree with that as well. Not so much now. They have finally realised that the population of the world is like, what the f*** are you letting them do? And questioning everything. So now they're asking a few questions as well, but not hard enough. But yeah, I want to see Netanyahu in The Hague under war crimes. Mind you, I want to see George Bush Jr. and of course Tony Blair there for exactly the same reasons. The last news from today was last night, overnight, so therefore in the morning. Trump said in a campaign speech that he wouldn't help any country being invaded by an aggressive nation if they hadn't paid what he deemed to be enough into NATO. Therefore, he would actually encourage whoever it was who was invading their country to get on with it and do whatever you can, do what you want. I mean, this is a man who could be ruling the world again. And I've always said about Americans, they're not stupid. They don't... Americans are all stupid and thick as pig shit. Let's see. Ronald Reagan. George Bush. Twice. Trump. Possibly twice. The list goes on. I don't know many more other presidents, to be honest. The only one who seemed to be alright, and apparently he wasn't, was Obama. And then, of course, there was Sucky Clinton, various other presidents as well. But yeah, like I said, the British governments and British parties and leaders and everything, they're all messed up. But at least we're not in America. Which brings us, ironically, to the world's news as reported this week around the world. Or is it this week world news reported around the world reported? I don't know. Anyway, I don't know what's going on. That's what's going on, isn't it? I don't know what's going on here. It's Boris. But no, we start with Australia. Price of beer and spirits jump as alcohol taxes rise. Now, again, everyone's saying that, everything's going up, inflation and all this, that, the other. Supermarkets are charging. The whole world has got the same problem. It's not just the Tories. It's not just the UK. It's not just Europe. It's happening in America. It's even on the other side of the bloody planet. Australia is doing this. From today, as in whenever this was published, Australians will have to pay more for beer and spirits in pubs, clubs and bottle shops. Now, I assume bottle shops are off licences. Basically, they're putting the taxes up because they need the money, because there's a shortage of money. But it doesn't matter though, because we've got America. Bahamas and Jamaica slam high-risk travel advisories for tourists. America has said, the US Embassy no less, that they've issued travel warnings about the Caribbean countries, or Caribbean if you're American. However, the Bahamian and Jamaican tourist boards are insisting the countries are still safe for tourists. This is despite 18 murders, primarily motivated by gang violence in January alone. Now, I'm not an expert on what goes on in the Caribbean, depending where you are on the planet. However, I do know that at least once a week there's a murder or an attempted murder on the island of St. Lucia, or whatever it's called, on the Death in Paradise, which ironically is on right now on BBC One as I speak. I'm recording it. Basically, someone gets murdered in a way that can't be murdered because everyone would know who'd done it, but no one knows who'd done it because and then it turns out they used a Bluetooth speaker in the mobile phone to recreate the noise of someone screaming or a gunshot, and he figures it all out and he solves it. And it's young Anthony off of the Royal Family, who's done very well for himself. He's a murder. There you go. Oh, they won't give a 4X about that old TV app. That is an old TV app, but my God, Tom. And welcome as well, by the way. Anyway, too long on that one, I do apologise. Mayor Adams calls on 50 Cent to hit me up after rapper dismisses migrant credit cards. Maybe he'll write a song about me. I mean, this is... Eric Adams is taking on 50 Cent over the rapper ripping the city's $53 million migrant dollar credit card handout. Now, we talked about this last week, if you were here last week. Basically, migrants, illegal and otherwise, are going to be given cards which are preloaded with cash, so they can go into shops and buy food and various other bits and pieces as well. And 50 Cent has rightly pointed out, what about American citizens who are living on the streets and they get call? And he's right, they do get calls. So yeah, good on 50 Cent. Back in Australia, should a Japanese man who dresses up like a dog be allowed on the bus? Oh, hang on a minute, no. That is an actual dog. My God, that dog looks like a dog. Having your terrier on a train, Frenchie on a ferry or a beagle on a bus could soon become a reality after recently being pitched at Sydney Summit, meaning Australia would follow the leads of cities across Europe, South America and New Zealand. I didn't realise dogs weren't allowed on buses. I'll be honest. Mind you, I've never been to Australia. It's probably got something to do with it. France farmers pelt a... You can't really see this. There you go. They pelt... oh, got hair in my mouth. Yeah. A police station with... I mean, absolute... Not just... Yeah, cow shit. Now, in Britain, we are very reserved when we spread muck. Our muck spreaders have this little spinny thing, and the muck falls down on this, and it just kind of spins it out really gently and everything. Not in France, that for a game of soldiers. It's like a fucking tank, just shooting it out at a bazillion miles an hour. And it's literally the full height of the actual thing as well. If you come out of that police station at that point, you would be going back in that police station thinking you were being pushed in by Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator. The power of that thing. But, like I said earlier on, it won. They won the battle for that. South Carolina wants to bring back electric chair and firing squads. Says a painless death is not mandatory. South Carolina wants to bring back the firing squad and the electric chair, as the state argues that painless deaths are not mandated. Among the 33 prisoners on death row, 4 inmates are arguing that the electric chair and firing squad are cruel and unusual punishments. They also claim that the 2023 law that allows lethal injections is also wrong as well. However, if these people are guilty of murder, what defence did the people who they murdered have about the way they were murdered? Were they murdered humanely? I very much doubt it. So who gives a what they think? If they are going to be executed, then execute them in the most painful way positive, as long as we know 100% definitely that they were the actual murderers who horrifically murdered whoever they murdered. Or even better still, how about you murder them the way they murdered their victims? Oh God, don't make me president. Whatever you do, don't make me president. Michigan school shooter's mother, Jennifer Crumbley, found guilty of manslaughter. Jennifer Crumbley was found guilty of 4 counts of manslaughter. It's the first parent in the US to be charged over a mass shooting committed by their child. Marketing director Crumbley, 45, was convicted over a role in the November 30th, 2021 mass shooting carried out by her son at Oxford High School, which left 4 students dead alongside 6 others and a teacher wounded. Basically, it's the if you do not look after your guns and you allow them to go into other people's hands who then commit a crime, then you are guilty of the crime that they've committed because of your lackadaisicity. And I think that's fair. More than a fifth of the remaining hostages in Gaza are dead, says Israeli officials. I wonder why. Because you're fucking carpet bombing Gaza when you've got fucking prisoners in there. I mean, you're murdering your own people as well as innocent people as well. The Israeli government, they need sorting out. It is ridiculous what they're doing. It makes me angry. I'm alright now. A high school sports broadcaster awarded $25 million after newspaper wrongfully called him a racist. An Oklahoma man was awarded $25 million in damages after a jury concluded that the state's largest newspaper intentionally harmed him when it wrongly identified him as the high school sports announcer who hurled racist remarks at players. Yeah. $25 million? $25 million. Ukrainian-born Miss Japan gives up crown after tabloid exposes affair with a married muscle doctor. The controversial Ukrainian-born winner of the Miss Japan beauty pageant has given up her crown after a magazine exposed her affair with a married man. Now, numerous things going on here. Number one, how is someone who's born in the Ukraine allowed to win Miss Japan? Makes no sense. I mean, there's been nice and there's just been stupid. I mean, we do. I moan about Britain's Got Talent. I don't watch it, but I always moan that the winners, or a few of the winners, have not been British. Well, they're not British, therefore it should be called Europe's Got Talent, or Indonesia's Got Talent, or somewhere else has got talent, because they're the ones who won the fucking thing. But no, we still call it Britain's Got Talent. But how can you have a Ukrainian-born person winning the Japanese Miss Japan thing? And then it turns out she had an affair with a married muscle man. Well, we don't all have married. No, we don't. No, anyway, moving on. A baby boy killed in Russian strike on a hotel in northeastern Ukraine. A 2-month-old boy was killed and his mother wounded in a Russian missile strike on a hotel in northeastern Ukraine. That's because Russia is as war guilty, well, it's more war guilty than possibly even Israel, and that's saying something. McDonald's customer sues restaurant after claiming cheese on Big Mac almost killed him. I mean, it's a big claim. A Rockland County man with severe milk allergy is suing New York City McDonald's, claiming he almost died after eating a Big Mac that contained an errant slice of cheese. Don't Big Macs contain cheese? Charles Olson suffered an anaphylactic reaction soon after he took a bite out of the famed McDonald's burger in February, according to a lawsuit. Yes, it's a Big Mac. One of the things the Big Mac has in it is cheese. Now, I'm not going to get an anaphylactic shock over eating a slice of processed cheese, but I can appreciate other people would. What did he think was going to happen? you can see the cheese in the burger. If you ordered a McDonald's Big Mac without the cheese, then you might have a case. However, you can still see the cheese. The cheese sticks out of the burger. You would look at it and say, there's no cheese there, I will bite this. You cannot sue someone because you're fucking blind. Just saying. Missouri GOP candidate tortures LGBTQ books with flamethrower. There's always cheese on them. Yeah, you can ask for them without cheese. And there are some people who actually ask for everything off apart from the cheese. See if they can get a cheese butty. Because if you order on the app, you can actually remove items from it. But yeah, I mean, you can see the cheese. It's the best bit. It's the bit that sticks to the edge of the box. I mean, there's clues before you bite into it. If you suffer dramatically from a milk allergy, surely the first thing you look for is cheese on a burger that has cheese. A GOP candidate in Missouri is literally playing with fire in a quest to rid local libraries of books she claims are nefariously attempting to groom children. Valentina Gomez, a 24-year-old running for Missouri's Secretary of State, shared a video of herself on X using a flamethrower to torch a stack of library books about LGBTQ plus community. This is what I do to grooming books when I become a politician. Exactly, you don't risk it. You wouldn't go to McDonald's, would you? I mean, what's to say there wouldn't be a piece of cheese that might have been on the fingers of the person who put the burger together? That might be enough to give you an anaphylactic shock. I kind of agree with the woman, but I also disagree with the woman as well. And it's a bit like, you know, calm down, love. Maybe reduce the number of books. Flamethrower. Non-stop rainfall causes over 8 million gallons of raw sewage to spill on LA streets and beaches. As I've said before, as much as I hate the water companies, and my God, I hate the water companies in the UK, it's not just us who have the same problem. It's a crappy situation. Non-stop pounding of rain from Pineapple Express storm caused massive sewage spills into Los Angeles County streets and beaches, with health officials warning residents to stay away from coastal waters. About 8 million gallons of raw sewage spilled into the channel, a nearly 16-mile river that runs through Carson, California. Yes, the problem we've got is the weather's changing and our infrastructure hasn't been designed to cope with it. Activist climbs Las Vegas sphere in shocking scene to raise money for homeless pregnant woman. I mean, I've seen more shocking scenes, I'll be honest. I mean, I've watched Hollyoaks once. Every scene was fucking shocking. Hiya, Amy. I don't know who Lewis is. Oh. Hiya, Lewis. Oh, I can sense another Banhammer coming soon. We will see. A man climbed to the top of the Las Vegas Sphere to raise money for homeless pregnant woman. He's a self-proclaimed skyscraper climber. It's not a skyscraper, it's a dome. And he climbed on top of the Las Vegas's newest attraction. I must admit, I do follow it, the actual dome on Thingamabob. Hi, Sean. Super Bowl Sunday, yeah, well, that's why I did it, I think. Des Champs took to his Facebook to post a video of him on the dome where he was seen wearing a white hoodie and sunglasses. But yeah, I mean, that's going to show, isn't it? Yeah. Snoop Dogg sues Walmart for sabotaging cereal brand by hiding it in storage rooms. Diabolical actions. Snoop Doggy Dogg is taking on Walmart after he claims the grocery giant tried to choke out his cereal brand by hiding it in storage rooms. So basically they wouldn't put it on the shelves. The rapper, whose legal name is Calvin Broadus, and his Brodos Foods co-founder Percy Master P. Miller filed a lawsuit against Walmart and Post Foods, claiming the companies sabotaged them. They basically said that they brought out this cereal. Walmart said they were going to stock it, but they kept it in the stock rooms, basically the warehouses, never put it on the shelves, which is sabotage. A pod of killer whales trapped in sea of ice just off Japan's coast, and there's nothing officials can do but wait. We have no choice, said someone. A group of at least 10 killer whales has been reportedly trapped in sea ice off of Japan's northern main coast, with officials saying they have nowhere to rescue them. The pod of whales are spotted trapped in the sea ice of Razu town in eastern Hokkaido prefecture, by a local fisherman, who then reported it to the local news and went out with a helicopter and filmed it. So basically, it's an air hole. I don't know if you know this or not, but whales are mammals that need to breathe. But if they're under ice, like if we were under ice, we would drown. Whales can drown as well. So these whales pop up every few minutes to get a breath of air and then pop down again, and then another one pops up. So they're popping up and down and all that kind of thing. And they were trapped. It was too far for them to swim to get into open water. Plus, being whales, they don't have sat-nav, so they wouldn't know which way to go. They probably got the wrong way, especially if they followed that idiot whale. So they just kept there, just swimming around and popping up and breathing, and then popping down, swimming around, popping up and breathing. Anyway, the good news is, don't worry folks, worry ye not. The good news is, I hope you, they're all safe and they escaped. Basically, the ice broke up and they found a way out. So there you go. Every story has a happy ending, except for stories that don't have an happy ending, which are sad stories. But we don't try and cover them. Apparently, I'm live on YouTube. Who knew? It's not the only story from the Arctic, but we'll come back to that in a bit. 50 Cent tells New York City Mayor Eric Adams he forgives him on migrant debit cards. Now I want to talk to Government Hochul. Rapper 50 Cent says he talked to Big Apple Mayor Eric Adams about the city's migrant debit cards and is no longer mad at him, instead turning his sights on Government Kathy Hochul. I talk to Eric Adams. He broke down why his pilot program was put in place. He appeared to be on point and on top of things, Fiddy wrote in an Instagram post. Now I want to talk to another governor as well. Oh, whale mammals. Yes, whales are mammals. Now, unfair or what? Wildlife Photo of the Year. Now, if I was going to enter Wildlife Photo of the Year, I'd be limited to seagulls, pigeons, rats, geese on the canal, the odd duck on the canal, and if I was really lucky, a heron or a crane, depending what you call it, on the canal, or maybe a dog. But no, the winner this year was the person who took this photo, which is an amazing photo. It's a breathtaking image of a young polar bear sleeping on an iceberg, and it's won a top wildlife photography prize. British amateur photographer Nima Sarikani has won the Wildlife Photographer of the Year's People's Choice Award for this dreamy image captured off Norway's Svalbard archipelago. Right, what fucking chance have I got when I can only photograph a fly, a spider, a dragonfly, or the other animals I mentioned, when some amateur photographer can spend hours, because I watched an interview, following this polar bear around at great expense, obviously, and then take a picture and then enter it. What fucking chance have I got? Zero. Fuming. I mean, all that said, to be fair, there's not a cute picture in it. Oh, look at it, it's just like I'm sleeping all about having a nap. But yeah, you've got to make it fair for everyone. How many people have the chance to go into Norway fjords? Norway fjords and do stuff? And the answer is very few. Anyway, the good news is the Eiffel Tower is being melted down for the medals for Paris 2024, which is the Olympic Games. The medals for the upcoming Olympic Games and Paralympic Games have been revealed. which all include a uniquely French feature. Podium finishers will be able to bring home a piece of Paris with the medals featuring a chunk of the original iron from the Eiffel Tower, which is very nice. That's nice. That's nice. The problem is they have to melt down the Eiffel Tower to do this. So when you go to Paris after the Olympic Games, there'll be no Eiffel Tower there. It'll be more of an Eiffel girder. Okay, I'm joking. Gastro strain feared spreading in public pools. Now, if someone's got a gastro problem, I think you would see it spreading in a public pool. Ergo, you wouldn't go in the pool where it is spreading. Hashtag just saying. Aquarium baffled after a stingray, stingray, I don't know anymore. Mysteriously gets pregnant, despite there not being any males in the tank. Who's your daddy? Researchers in Northern Carolina say something fishy about the pregnancy of a stingray at the Aquarium and Sharks Lab by Team Echo the Dolphin in Hendersonville. The stingray, named Charlotte, that's the wrong name, isn't it, is preggers, but the Aquarium and Outreach Centre doesn't have any male stingrays. They thought the swelling might be cancer, but they did a scan and it turns out she's pregnant. Stingrays are not mammals, stingrays are fish. Arnie. I'm Amy. Arnie, sorry. At least 31 dead in Rafah after Israeli airstrikes. Remember, Rafah is the place that Israel told everyone to go to because they'd be safe. They've told them to go to different places and bombed various refugee camps and stuff like that. And my argument has always been, and I still stand by it, what is the difference between putting leaflets down from aeroplanes for people to read and get told where to go and then bombing the places where you send them? The difference between that and putting people on trains is what exactly? Exactly. Sheesh. Here are the rude, vulgar and offensive license plates rejected by Florida authorities, including Mr. DUI. Now DUI is driving under the influence, so drink driving basically. It's a bonfire of the vanities. Sunshine State officials rejected more than 500 license plates with NICS submissions violating restrictions on the creative but sometimes crude vehicle markers. According to the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles, the prohibited plates were either rejected upon initial application or on appeal because, well, they're offensive. And it's amazing what you can do with a few letters and a couple of numbers. That's all I'm going to say. Have you ever watched Countdown? Cats does Countdown in particular. Was Marina. That was who I was thinking of. Marina. Marina. Aquamarina. Always bugged me that. At the beginning of it. Stingray. 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 End of the programme. Maria. Only Maria. She's swimming. Oh, it's made me angry, even as a child, lady. Alabama radio station is booted from air after its 200-foot tower vanished without a trace. Now, I've got a theory. Right? Are you ready for this? It's a tower. It's 200 foot high. It's vanished without a trace. Paris has admitted the medals for the Olympic Games have got melted down parts of the tower in them. But is it the Eiffel Tower or is it this radio station? I'll let you decide. Conspiracy. That's what I'm saying. Pakistani party backed by jailed ex-Prime Minister wins most seats in Parliament. Now, they always say that democracy is a great thing. I don't think it is. I'll be honest with you. I don't think democracy is all that what it's cracked up to be. You generally find the countries that have had the longest amount of civilization i.e., our organisation, governments and infrastructure and all that kind of stuff, don't really do democracy. And they seem to get on all right for the most part, until we interfere, Bush Blair, for example. But no, it turns out that when there is a democracy in some countries, it just picks up. I give you America, I give you the UK, I give you quite a bit of Europe, and now I give you Pakistan. Democracy, yeah, it's not everything it's meant to be. However, I've been told by someone who may or may not be right that there is a massive plan to start World War III so that we all join together and then we get governed by a government thing and we never get to vote again. A world government. I think that'll only happen when we get invaded by aliens. Talking of which, this show isn't thrown together, Invasive alligator snapping turtle native to Florida, rescued out of a lake in England. There was nothing fluffy about this creature fished out of a small English lake. An invasive alligator snapping turtle, a creature native to Florida and known for its mean bite, was discovered in the county of Cumbria in the northwest United Kingdom, where a local official fished it out with a shopping basket. It's one of the most gruesome beasts I've ever seen. Hi Alan, sorry I'm late guys, I had a friend here and they just left. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Tardiness, unbelievable. Some people are just too tardy. But basically what I want to know is, A, where do you get a snapping turtle from in the UK? B, who is irresponsible enough to throw it away into a pond where it could, let's be honest, we've got a bloody stingray that's got pregnant without another stingray in the tank in America. What's to say it couldn't lay eggs and then all of a sudden we've got billions of these snapping turtles ripping toddlers' feet off when they go for a paddle in a river. Irresponsible. So I think whoever dumped it and whoever had it should be held accountable and should be thrown in prison forever. Well, maybe not forever, but certainly till they learn their lesson. You missed the video clip, Alan. I know you like a video clip, so I'm going to give everyone the video clip. Oh, Kim, welcome as well. Nice to see you there, mates. Kim's back. He is a regular. Video clips.
Invading the privacy of the royal family is utterly reprehensible. And on that, I share Prince Harry's opinion. I just wish he'd stop doing it.
Genius. I mean, the guy's an absolute moron, but he's a moronic genius. Which brings us to the stories of the week where I go, or I go, ugh, or I go, ah. Basically, it's things that make you go, For example, I mean, Nostradamus, what the fuck is this about? Nostradamus predicts King Charles, I mean, I know King Charles is old, very old, but Nostradamus predicted King Charles would abdicate because he's got cancer in 2024? Yeah, snapping turtles have got more sense than that. Probably get one from Appleton's Exotics in Schools. Is that still going? Aliens will use telekinesis and gravity bending to take Earth, AI warns. Aliens from beyond the stars could wipe out civilization on Earth using teleportation, telekinesis, and weaponry that would render our traditional defences completely useless. An AI chatbot has warned. So yeah, absolute bullshit then. But don't forget, we've got COVID. I mean, that would wipe them out instantly. Police swarm UK airport after plane gets intercepted by RAF Typhoons. And you're like thinking, oh, this is going to be down London, isn't it, mate? No. This is Manchester Airport, It was a chaotic scene after two RAF Typhoon aircraft were seen escorting a Scandinavian Airlines flight from Oslo to Manchester after it appeared to lose communications let me down, and I'm left here. Communication let me down, and I'm in Manchester. Armed police storm train after sighting of Clapham chemical attack suspect. This is a breaking news story. It's being constantly updated by our reporters as a breaking news story develops. Except it didn't develop because it wasn't him, because he's probably already dead. Exact time, UK to be blasted by 19cm deep wall of snow so wide it reaches Belgium. We're going to flood the North Sea and the English Channel. It's going to be that snowy we can walk across again like Neanderthal man could do 10,000 years ago. No. This was a snowstorm that was predicted to come this weekend. I think no. Putin's top secret weapon can jam GPS on planes and ships, and military chief warns. I'm pretty sure everyone's got one of them. Vladimir Putin is using an electronic weapon capable of disrupting GPS signals on planes, ships and automobiles, wreaking havoc across parts of Europe, a military boss warns. Yeah, we've all got that weapon. It's not new. Just because Russia's come up with it doesn't mean it's new. NASA attempting to provide nuclear power to the moon as first phase is underway. NASA wants to get nuclear power on the surface of the moon as it launches a mission to have the energy source independent of Earth by the early 2030s. Now, here's the thing. Although I've just completely decided that it's absolute nonsense. The temperature on the moon, where the sun hits it, is incredibly hot. The temperature on the moon where the sun isn't is incredibly cold. So I was saying, why don't you just put solar panels there? But yeah, of course, you have full moon, you have crescent moon, you have total eclipse. There's another advertisement reference there for you, Toff. Yeah, total eclipse. So yeah, nuclear power is probably the only way forward. But be wary, because remember what happened in space 1999? There was a nuclear explosion and it blew the moon out of orbit, which probably destroyed Earth as well. And they went on an adventure. It was the 19th. Jaywick attack. Owners of XL Bullies now say they need to wipe. What? Owner of XL Bullies now say they need to wiped out after Grand. That doesn't make sense. They need to be wiped out, maybe. While Ashley, whose rapper name is Wiseless Man, was previously defiant about the new laws, now he couldn't support them enough after his dogs fatally attacked a grandmother, Esther Martin. Now, remember, we were talking about this last week. There's been another XL death as well, apparently, or an attack. I don't think it's a death. An 8-year-old child has had his head bitten very severely by a bulldog. Not confirmed it was an XL. Jaffa Cakes. Yes, Jaffa Cakes, tough. Very good. Rapper who suspected XL Bullies kill now begs for breed to be wiped out. And there he is. He looks like the kind of guy who would own a Bully XL, because I've said all along, a Bully XL is not the problem. It's because like him who are the problem. People like him who own the dogs, who have it as a status symbol. Look at me, I'm hard, I've got this dog that I can't control. Yeah, you go to prison, mate. That's what he's trying to get away from, is going to prison. Never drink and drive. So if you have your car at the pub, leave it there. But don't take someone else's advice. To whoever it was that told me to leave my car at the pub and take the bus home, turns out I was in no fit state to drive that either. Genius. Mr. Tim, you said anything about hydrogen cars? It appears more big car brands are turning away from electric and investing in hydrogen. You were correct all along. Well, obviously I was correct all along. Remember last week I was on about... Oh, I don't think you were here last week, were you? Last week there was a clip thing that said that in order to electrify the whole planet enough so that the charging points for EV vehicles, we need to mine in the next 30 years more copper than the entire history of mankind has mined. Remember, all that copper has got to be wrapped in 3 layers of plastic. Plastic is made out of oil. What is green about electricity? Don't get me started on the batteries. Anyway, funny story there. I keep doing that. I don't know if I'm going the right way or not. I don't know if I'm going the right way or not. Yeah, I'm going the right way. There you go. That's good. Because it's all backwards to me. But no, genius that one was. That was definitely a genius meme. I like a good meme. We've not had a Banksy, have we? Oh, there's a Banksy. Forgive us our trespassing. I love Banksy. And this is amazing. You won't get it at first, but you'll get it on the next picture. Okay? Are you ready for this? Whoever buys an EV at hybrids, they must be stupid. Oh, Sean, the irony of what you've just said there is amazing. Mumbai man's instruction to Zomato for his birthday cake went hilariously wrong. So it's a birthday cake, obviously. It says happy birthday Aisha Possum. Okay, so you're like, well, what's wrong with that? I mean, you know, not a lot really. It's only when you see the next picture that you absolutely ladded. I absolutely creased myself laughing. This was the email that was sent. Custom Patisseries, Mumbai. Order 1 chocolate mousse cake. Cooking instructions added. Send candle. Write happy birthday Aisha, or put a happy birthday sticker and write Aisha if possible. So they put a birthday sticker and write Aisha possible. I mean, it's a shit birthday cake anyway. If I was Aisha, I'd be well stuff with that. But anyway, yeah, it made me laugh, made me chuckle. That was hilarious. China, India and Russia are in awe and will soon do similar, surely, says Russell Quirk. I've no idea. After all, we must lead by example. Wait, what's that? Those other countries have stuck 2 fingers up our violent efforts and couldn't give a toss? I can't believe it. It's about the Conservatives' claim that the UK is the first major economy to halve emissions. Not only that, but we have done it in a pragmatic way, growing our economy. I don't know where they get that from. But the UK is the first country to halve its emissions since 1990. The previous country to do that, to halve its emissions, was Russia, because they were no longer allowed to burn people in eastern Germany. Yeah, it's true. The Stasi. What's this? Labour sticking by the 28 billion Green Pledge. Amid reports it's been scrapped in a matter of days. So this is Shadow Minister for Creative Industries, Sir Chris Bryan MP. Remember, this is the Labour Party. You've got Sir Keir Starmer, Sir Chris Bryan. You've got other sirs there as well. There are more sirs in the Labour Party Shadow Cabinet than there are in the Conservative Cabinet. Although, admittedly, I've got a lump of lard. Although he calls himself Lord, but he's a lump of lard. But yeah, this was Labour saying a day or two before they scrapped the £28 billion green energy shite that they were not going to scrap it and they could afford it. So yeah. Inside King Charles and Harry's first meeting in 9 months. Cause for optimism? Doubt it. King Charles and Prince Harry met at Clarence House for 45 minutes after the Duke of Sussex transatlantic dash to see his father following the monarch's cancer diagnosis. Again, I question why he go to see his father when the monarch had actually been diagnosed with cancer. But I mean, it's Prince Harry. He does what he wants, doesn't he? This week's snow bomb mapped as 3 centimetre per hour. Flurries will hit in the next 48 hours. That was 2 days ago. Enough now. Britain plagued by bedbugs for 2,000 years after boffins make remarkable find. All that fuss they were going on about a few months ago about bedbugs everywhere and coming over from France, I'm like, we've had bedbugs forever. There was even a thing where you'd get a, because they don't sleep in the beds generally, they go and hide somewhere else, and then they come when they pick up the carbon dioxide. They smell that, they know there's a human around, so they climb up onto the beds and suck your blood. And they normally do it in a line as well, so you get a line of spots where they've bitten you, but you're asleep, you don't know it, they've got, some time. You're just helping another species along. But, no, I'm going to bed now, don't let the bed bugs bite and all that kind of thing. I mean, that's, we've been doing it for centuries. There was even a thing, that was the thing I was going on. You get like a cup or a saucer or something, put liquid detergent in it, fairy liquid or something, and that way they can't get to you if they're not in the bed already, and they all drown in the thing coming for you because they can't fly. The bed bugs are not bed flies. I get the Harry joke. I'm glad someone did. UK's grubbiest cities unveiled in new poll as Scottish town tops the list. Yeah, a new grubby research carried out by the bathroom experts Plumworld found that 57% of its residents admit to washing their bodies less than once every 2 days. It's not good for you washing your body every day. We know that. But every 3 or 4 days? There are some people who, I know someone who doesn't wash, he got banned from his shop for it, to be fair. I don't think he washes, period. Captain Tom's daughter's £200,000 unauthorised spa is finally demolished, just like her credibility. That's all I'm saying. Planet Earth may have been flat once, as expert uncovers strange new evidence. Yeah, absolute BS. Strange moment, drunk bloke strolls completely naked through busy airport. After the Sheriff's Department arrived, he went on to the Broadwood Health Medical Centre to be checked out before heading for a stay at a jail. Now, haven't we all wandered around naked in airports and public places, shopping centres, supermarkets, parks, things like that? Mind you, I've only ever done that in my dreams and they're horrific. But yeah, beasts from the East too could bury the UK in snow next week. Oh, right, okay. And so the snow that was due in 24 hours is now coming next week. But I've seen the weather for next week. There's no snow then either. Stop scaring people about the weather, will you? A meteor that hit Earth 10 years ago may have been made by aliens, says an expert. Yes. If it's an expert and says aliens exist, you're not an expert. Someone who tells things that make me laugh is Jimmy Carr. Swimming's good for you, especially if you're drowning. Not only do you get a cardiovascular workout, you also don't die. 2 ticks. Seriously though, if you can't swim, just do go on your back and just do the starfish, and you'll float for longer. Particularly if you're in cold water. I mean, you might die of hypothermia, but you won't drown. Sky F1 Hamilton's fan club. These guys are going to be Ferrari fans from now on. One reason I don't watch Sky is because it's absolute shite for covering F1. It's full of people who just talk absolute bull, which is why I watch the Channel 4 one. Plus, the races, if you watch them live, are actually quite dull. The highlights are the best. But yeah, they're also so biased as well. I mean, some could say that Channel 4 is a bit Red Bull biased. But I mean, David Coulthard and Mark Webber both raced for Red Bull, so there's going to be some links there, I suppose. But yeah, Sky F1, stick it up your ass. This is F1 in 2026. Alex AWS Albon crashes at the Amazon Prime Parabolica in his Bet365 Casino powertrains Williams during the Louis Vuitton Italian GP. This triggers the Monster Energy red flag and the second delivery of safety car of the race. So basically what they're saying is it's getting heavily sponsored by sponsors, and it's going to get worse over the next few years. But it's always been sponsored by sponsors. I mean, back when I first started watching Formula One, it was all cigarette manufacturers. You had Marlboro, McLaren, you had the JPS Special, John Player cigarettes. You had the Williams covered in camel, not poo, camel cigarettes, Parkins. I mean, to be fair, up to last year and maybe the year before, the Williams had turned into poo. Our obligatory electric car on fire, photograph of the day, of the week even, has to be done. Famous taglines for Formula One. AMG Petronas Formula One team, the best or nothing. Red Bull Racing gives you wings. Heineken F1, don't drink and drive. Next year will be our year. Scuderia Ferrari. It won't be though, will it? Because you got Lewis Hamilton driving for you next year. Final one. The last time Max Verstappen finished a race outside the top 10. So finished a race, if he didn't finish, obviously it doesn't count. So if he finished a race, the last time he did it outside the top 10 was the 2016 Belgian Grand Prix, which is almost 8 years ago. Of course, now they've jinxed it, so it's going to happen on the first race. But still pretty good thing. Mount Everest stinks of poo, with 3 tons of human waste piling up. People looking to climb Mount Everest will now have to buy poo bags, which will be inspected to make sure they are full up on their return. I didn't read that bit. As official worry, the world's tallest peak has turned into an open toilet. There's loads of bodies up there as well, though, isn't there? Because it's too expensive to. If people die up there, they just leave them. It's too expensive to bring them down and too dangerous to bring them down. So I imagine there's lots of poo and pee, but they're going to inspect your poo bag when you come back down again. That's a job I wouldn't be going for. You've been up there 5 days. You've done 3 rabbit pellets. Go up and get the rest. Go back up there and get the rest of your poo. Moscow bans sex parties after racy, almost naked event was condemned by Putin because he wasn't invited. It probably wasn't an all gay one either, so that's why he's upset. Authorities in Moscow appear to have banned parties related to sex following the controversial almost naked bash in Russia's capital last year that was even condemned by Putin because he wasn't invited. He likes getting naked. Nothing wrong with that. How is Lewis Hamilton going to cope with them considering they go through the alphabet each race? God knows, tough. I've been to dozens of orgies in the UK. Easily the worst was in Birmingham. An anonymous swinger has spilled the secrets on UK sex clubs and revealed darker side to the kinky lifestyle, with some partners dragged along to orgies against their will. Well, that's not an orgy then, is it? That's collective rape. Male or female, doesn't matter. Russia's spies are an embarrassment to Putin and easy to disrupt, say sources. Now look at that picture of Putin there. Okay. And then look at this picture of Putin. Are you telling me that's the same person? The answer is no, it's not. But anyway, yeah, his spies are shit. Who'd have thought? Another picture of Putin. This is Putin number 3. World War III in Britain. Secret police, labour camps and rations in chilling warning. Britain may face a World War II inspired rationing system with secret police and forced labour camps springing up should World War III break out. There was an expert who said that, so it's absolute tosh. Wolves living in Chernobyl have evolved to beat cancer, scientists discover. The packs of stray grey wolves infamously roaming around in Chernobyl, appear to have developed mutations that increase their odds of surviving cancer. I didn't realise that cancer was a problem for wolves, but there you go, you learn something new every day. I mean, maybe they never had cancer before, but now they do because they've got it, but they don't die as much because they've never had it. I don't know. Putin warns over smart Elon Musk as he tells Carlson there is no stopping him. Tucker Carlson's controversial interview with Russian President Vladimir Putin was released, with the despot issuing a warning about Elon Musk. I mean, come on, Putin. We know Elon Musk is a danger. Or a moment, jet plane lands on motorway, killing 2. A plane has burst into flames as passengers were seen running from the wreckage of the crash, which killed both pilots who attempted to make an emergency landing after the engine died. Now, we often see planes landing, particularly in America, on freeways, but they're usually Cessna or something equivalent, single engine propeller planes, but this is an actual jet. Looks like a private jet as well. Anyway, miraculously no one on the ground was killed, and many of the passengers, even older passengers, survived. Tragically, the 2 pilots, who did very well to save a plane to a degree, lost their lives. Andy the cyclist, good evening to you, sir. Cops hunting chemical attack suspect find 2 bodies in the River Thames. Chemical attack suspect believed to be in the waters of the Thames. Met Police have pulled 2 bodies from the body of water, but neither of them are the suspect. Now, be like, how many bodies are in the Thames? They've only been searching for 1 day. I touched UK's most haunted desk, where bloke fought Satan who left devil mark. No. He put his cigar down and it fell out of the ashtray and he didn't notice. It's got nothing to do with Satan, you absolute lemon. I'm sorry. Just makes me angry. Anyway, that brings us nicely, 1 hour 26 minutes in, to a breaking news. And the breaking news is cold weather, apparently. What's going on in the world news then? Red Bull's wings clipped as Horner Furore leaves F1 champions in flux. Been claims made against Horner regarding his conduct with certain members of staff within the organisation, which are being looked into. But again, you never know, do you? We're not telecom pole cowboy say full fibre rollout firm. Now, we've had these on our estates. They've been sticking up telegraph poles for the new full fibre, and I'm like, I can see why they're doing it because it's full fibre, but surely we're at the stage now where we don't really need any fibre. They can do it all through the 5G, 8G, whatever. But you never know, do you? Shops to be turned into homes to solve housing crisis without destroying countryside. Now, this is something I said ages ago on Wigan Watch, I think it was. We've got lots of shops in Wigan Town Centre, either side of the demolition area, which is now complete, of the galleries, where the shops are empty and there's like 3 stories above the shops, which could easily be converted into social housing, could be converted into large family houses, could be converted into houses of multiple occupancy, or could be converted into student accommodation, because there is the college down the road, which is trying to be a university, but it's never going to happen, is it? Let's be honest. And anyway, Rishi's finally come up with it. I'm going to ask Rishi for some money for all the ideas I've given him. What else is going on? Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Oh, flood alerts issued for West and East London days after a canal burst in Stratford. New map reveals the UK's vaping capital, and it's not London. £3 billion HMS Prince of Wales aircraft carrier departure cancelled at the last minute. That was going to be on television. Leyland businesses and shoppers fear for town centre after Boots, Lidl and Bodycare close stores. Leyland has kind of bucked the trend a little bit, but like everyone else, it's not doing very well, unfortunately. What else is going on? Labour by-election candidate apologises for his statements that were deeply offensive. They weren't deeply offensive, they're what everyone's thinking. I don't agree with Labour on many things, but there you go. 4 boys aged between 12 and 14 arrested on suspicion of rape. That's in Rochdale. Biden wars Netanyahu against Rafah operation without credible safety plan. His credible safety plan is to move innocent civilians out of the country. Ethnic cleansing. NATO leader says Trump puts allies at risk by saying Russia can do whatever the hell they want if the country they're invading hasn't paid enough money. Yeah. A huge majority of Americans say Joe Biden too old for another term. No, Sherlock, and I thought the Americans were stupid. A sparkling new tennis channel launches in the UK and Ireland, and I couldn't give less. You no longer should put your phone in rice if you drop it in water, says the Metro. Okay. There's a new £20 million leisure and community hub in Stockport, or at least there will be. 2 unexpected bodies found in the Thames in the search for the guy who threw the acid on people. And yeah, that's it for the breaking news. Breaking news. Breaking news. That was breaking news. Now the analytics is not working, so I can't tell you maximum number of views we've had, average views, all that kind of thing. The only thing I can tell you is we've got 9 concurrent viewers and we got 7 likes. Can also tell you we've been on now for 1 hour and 32 minutes. A big shout out to JT and Rachel, Stephen LFC, Luke Williams Laney, Angela O'Kane, John Gibb, Martin Baker, Phoenix Hero, Luke Williams, I've already said Luke Williams, Tough TV, Amy Disley, Lewis, Sean J. I didn't get the Bannerama out. I thought the Bannerama was coming out, but it didn't. And Andy the Cyclist and Alan Barton, who arrived tardily late. But I'll let you off. You have people round. They've just got better things to do. I don't know. Maybe watch Death in Paradise. That's what I'm going to do now. Well, I'm not actually. The world could be in trouble if Trump gets back in. I think the world's in trouble anyway, to be fair. I'll be honest with you. It's not great, is it? Anyway, that is it for the news roundup of the week. 2024. Well, 11th of the 2nd, 2024. Big shout out to everyone, like I've said, who's joined in the chat. Don't forget, back again around about 9 o'clock next Sunday, UK time. If you're anywhere around the world and you want to join us live, feel free to do so. If you listen to this on a podcast, please subscribe as well. Don't forget you can join in, get a shout out. And we will look at the world news with my rather bizarre uptake, thoughts on what's going on around our glorious planet, which is not flat and never has been flat. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll be seeing you. Until next time. Bye. Oh, Kim as well. Sorry, Kim. I forgot to mention Kim. I do apologise.